Welcome back, guys. Okay, we will start by 6:22. Let's wait muna sa iba niyang mga classmates para matapos na 'to natin. Hoy, Felix. Guys, nakikita niyo yung share screen ko?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hala, saan na yung kanina na 83? Bakit 20 plus na lang? Tinamad na kayo?
Doon sila makapasok, sir.
Sir,
Ay,
sir,
gano'n?
sabi mo kasi optional lang, sir. So, ayun, hindi na pumasok yung iba.
Yun na nga eh. Sige lang. Kaysa i-blame nila ako nagklase si Sir Gab ng Sunday.
Dapat kasi, sir, may points na yan, sir, para magpasok lahat.
Ayoko nga, tumaas grado nyo eh, dahil doon. Okay, so what time is it? Okay, so it's best to say it's 6:22. Now let's start with our last remaining topic. Ano man yan? Oh, Felix. Okay. Now let's talk about information, communication, and technology, or what we know as in its abbreviated form as the ICT. Okay. Ano nga ba yung ICT or Information Communication Technology? So, when we talk about information communication technology, it is a medium that we use, no, in order to connect with other people, but not just to connect, but to process our necessities and to make our life and work easier virtually. No, yung lahat ng mga ginagawa natin online, all of this will fall under ICT. Ano nga ba yung function ng ICT? So the function of ICT, according to Technopedia, ICT refers to all the technology used to handle telecommunication, broadcast media, intelligent building management systems, audiovisual processing, and transmission systems, and network-based control and monitoring function. So yung lahat ng mga bagay na ginagawa natin online in order to make our life and work easier. Say for example, storing our data sa Google Drive, connecting with our friends in our AFAM outside the country. All of these guys are under ICT, no? So, especially no in our current times wherein napaka-abundant na ng technology, siguro bihira na lang yung taong walang cellphone, no? Or yung taong walang internet, no? Or yung walang access sa internet. So, lahat talaga tayo, we are now slaves. I would not say slaves, but we are more inclined in the ICT era. Okay. So what are the benefits of ICT? Number one, education. In education, no, especially in education, education has benefited considerably from the use of ICT, particularly the internet. So especially no during last pandemic, no, nakita talaga natin kung paano nag-boom ang ICT, especially sa pangangailangan ng mga learners just like you guys. So, lahat ng mga learning materials ninyo sinisend ni teacher online sa Facebook or ina-upload niya sa Google Drive tapos kayo download na lang kayo, 'di ba? Tapos mag-meet siya sa inyo virtually. Maganda siya in a way na you don't have to get out from the comfort of your home, especially during that time na kung saan it is considered na delikado ang lumabas sa bahay kasi nga because of the COVID virus, right? So yun yung I think is sa mga benefits ng ICT in education. So housewives, hobbyists, out of school youth, and naka-record ba 'to? Okay, naka-record. Okay. Housewives, hobbyists, um, out of school youth and the unemployed normally educate themselves in the confines of their homes using the internet. I don't know if you're aware of this, but actually TESDA offers courses online, no, virtually on their portal. I actually tried enrolling. Actually, libre lang siya. All you have to do is to access the portal, tapos punta ka dun sa anong gusto mong i-take na NC2, and then you will just have to attend, no? The I mean, not attend. Actually, babasahin mo lang, aaralin mo yung module, iintindihin mo siya, and then right after that particular module, before ka makaproceed, no, sa next module ng course na napili mo, kailangan mong i-pass yung assessment. Ganon kaganda ngayon ang TESDA. So you don't have to go na sa training center tapos para lang i-take or bayaran or pati pag-aralan yung gusto mong NC2. I think maganda siya kasi hindi niyo na kailangan mag-effort pa para manghanap ng NC2. Kasi nung time namin kailangan namin pumunta talaga sa main branch or sa WIMSU. If say for example, I wanted to learn how to make pastries, kailangan ko mag-enroll tapos pumunta talaga dun mag-attend ng face-to-face classes. So unlike now, pwede ka lang mag-aral ng paano gumawa ng pastries kasi nakalagay na sa module ano yung mga steps, may mga videos na din, yung lahat ng mga kailanganin mong learning materials andun na lahat sa portal. Okay? Then skills that can be acquired include cooking, dressmaking, flower arrangement, fashion, designing, and carpentry, which eventually can serve as source of income. Ayan. Tapos, ang maganda doon, pag natapos mo yung NC2 na napili mo online, mayroon ka talagang certificate. Pero I think you will still have to take the examination na face-to-face. So parang assessment mo yun para makakuha mo yung NC2 certification. But still, no, it is worthwhile, especially halimbawa if ayaw mo nang lumabas kasi mayroon kang kailangan alagaan sa bahay, pwede ka na lang mag-aral sa bahay ninyo, 'di ba? Ayan. So those are the benefits of ICT in education. No? Basically, it makes our life easier and more manageable. So benefits of ICT in education also include, sino yung si Oppo? Please change your name lang ga. Si Oppo, si Peace, H2447. Pati si iPhone. Ayan, make sure to change your name ha para alam ko sino yung mga pumapasok. Si Samsung, Tecno. Favor lang guys. Thanks. Okay. So benefits of ICT in education also includes personalized learning. So composed of educational projects, training sessions aimed to direct students to self-growth. So in personalized learning, no, ang kagandahan sa ICT na maximize si teacher ang kanyang classes, no, even kahit nasa bahay siya. So for example, dito, itong ginagawa ko sa inyo na online class. Whatever activity I do, for as long as pwede siyang gawin online, then pwede niyo yun magawa. Halimbawa, you could take your exam in a Google form, 'di ba? So hindi niyo na kailangan pumunta ng school para lang mag-take ng exam. Tapos pwede ko na rin siyang i-check. So maganda siya na beneficial siya both sa learner and sa educator. So distance education, so just like yung binabalik-balik ko, maganda siya kasi nga kahit sa bahay ninyo pwede kayong mag-learn. No? Of course, it always depends on your diligence and your perseverance. If hindi ka naman talaga persevered mag-learn, kahit yan nasa magandang 5-star hotel ka pa, hindi ka mag-learn. So distance education allows flexible place and time that suits the student's availability, virtual classroom, and independent learning. So ang kagandahan no, sa ICT, in education is that, say for example, if you're a working student and you have to work for 8 hours, so right after your working hours, pwede ka na mag-aral, di ba? Unlike sa face-to-face classes, you will have to really exert all of your time coming to school to listen to the lectures of your teachers and then right after that, pass your assessment. Ganon ka hectic ang face-to-face compared sa ICT. Now, okay. So, it is not just about no, the ICT does not just have benefits sa education. It also have benefits in other areas. Say, for example, in the information and communication. So the first one is it has benefits in the banking industry, 'di ba? So dati kasi yung mga bangko, 'di ba, tinatago nila yung pera sa sa mga safe. Tapos kung magbabank transaction ka, you will really have to go to their branch. Tapos saka ka mag-transact using your passbook. I don't know if naabutan niyo pa yon or if you guys know that. Pero I think somewhere in 2000, very in demand pa yung passbook, no? Although ICT was already invented na during that time, pero hindi pa siya ganun talaga ka-widely accepted. Very archaic pa yung method nila. So ngayon, no, you can already online you can already transact your banking transactions online, 'di ba? Halimbawa, GCash, pwede ka na magtago ng pera mo sa BPI. Pwede ka na mag-send or mag-transfer or 'di ba? Andiyan na lahat ng mga transaction online sa banking. Pwede kang mag-send ng pera, pwede kang mag-receive ng pera. Yun, kasama yun sa online banking. The next one is, um, what's that? I forgot the logo. I'm so sorry. For a while. Ano ba yun? Sino yung module yan? Ayun, digital economy. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, digital economy. So, naging madali na din, no, yung economic system ng um, actually, all of the countries around the world, no, naging madali na. Bakit? Kasi kung dati yung trading, they will have to go in a certain area para mag-trade lang ng mga bagay. Pero ngayon, hindi na kailangan yun. Online lahat ng mga transaction. Di ba? Si for example, the stock market, mag-aantay ka na lang kung ano yung mga company na magbebenta ng stocks. Tapos bibili ka na lang and then you will have to wait kung kailan mo siya pwedeng ibenta. Ganon. Ang dali-dali niya. Another example for economic transaction is that yung pag-shopping natin, 'di ba? We want to buy something outside the country, pwedeng-pwede mo nang mabili without going to that particular country. Say for example, you want to taste um Cadbury chocolate na made in Switzerland, say for example. So you don't have to go to Switzerland talaga para bumili lang talaga ng Cadbury chocolate kasi available na siya online. Last one, it also has no effects or benefits sa sa medical field or sa medical industry. Why? Dati kasi pag na-hospital yung isang tao, yung lahat ng record nila, kinikip safe nila yan sa isang malaking bodega, kunyari. So lahat ng mga medical records, andoon lahat nakatambak and nakafile ng maayos. But unlike now, no, naging maganda ng sistema nila. Why? Kasi paperless na. All of their data are encoded and then uploaded in a Google, in a storage online. Tapos they don't have to find it na isa-isa ha. Ang pwede na lang nilang gawin is i-search na lang siya sa search bar and then automatically lalabas na yung record ni patient. So hindi lang siya beneficial no sa education, pati sa ibang mga fields din. Ayan. So, it is not just about benefits, no? Also, ICT also have chicken saba. Yo, then bira 10 minutes late. Yeah, kusasi. Okay. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta ano lang, no? Benefits lang. Mayroon talaga siyang negative effects din. So, the first one, because of the ICT or the integration of ICT, nagkaroon na ng identity theft, 'di ba? Since all of us are online, we upload no our information no sa Instagram, sa Facebook, sa Twitter, 'yan. So, ang nangyayari kasi nakukuha yung mga data natin, yung picture natin nagagamit tapos nagpo-poster. I don't know if you watch Tulpo pero mayroong mga kaso no na napanood ko na kung saan ginamit yung picture ng isang tao para mang-scam. Humingi ng pera sa AFAM, tapos picture niya yung ginamit. ganyan. Tapos nung time na nagkabukuhan na, yung natawag is yung tao na nagamit na ng picture. So yun, ganun ang identity theft, whereby a particular person uses your information and your picture for their own greed and purposes. So the next one is online predators. So individuals who commit child sexual abuse that begins or take place in the internet. I am not, I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with deep web, but in deep web, no, there are definitely sites na kung saan nagbebenta sila ng mga bata. Actually, nag-exploit ng mga bata, no? I'm not saying that the Philippines does not have this kind of record because since time and immemorial, Philippines is one of those countries who has records of exploitation, no? So pag sinabi nating online predators, ito yung kung saan yung privacy ng mga bata below or minors, no, nagagamit sa sexual greed ng isang tao. Say for example, the pedophiles, ganyan. So ginagamit yung mga picture ng mga bata for their own sexual desires, no? So I think sa Manila, way back in 2006, maraming mga online exploitation hubs na raid, no? So ayan, so the next is less physical contact. So because of the online platform and the integration of ICT, mas nagdi-detach tayo. Ayan, si Francis Molen yung nag-open ng deep web. Ay, pero hindi naman kasi lahat sa deep web, may child exploitation. Kumbaga, the deep web is an extension or an online extension na kung saan it allows you to access, no, sa mga sites na hindi mo pwedeng ma-access sa normal na site. I mean, sa mga normal na browser, like halimbawa, sa Google Chrome, ganyan. Most probably, yung mga content na pwede mong makita sa deep web is yung mga super gore or like mga rated super SPG, ganyan, na hindi pwedeng panoorin ng mga tao na maayos ang pag-iisip. Ganyan. Kasi back when when I tried accessing deep web via Onion, I was able to stumble sa isang site na kung saan ang mga videos na ina-upload doon is mga video ng pagpugot ng ulo, things like that. Napaka-gory talaga ng mga video. So kumbaga yung mga content doon is yung mga content na hindi acceptable, no, sa surface internet or sa surface net. Okay? So let's proceed to our next discussion. We have the less physical contact. So like I said, no, since mas nag-integrate na nga yung ICT, mas nagkukulang na tayo ngayon sa pakikipaghalubilo sa ibang tao, 'di ba? Kasi mas prefer na natin mag-chat-chat na lang, mag-YouTube-YouTube, mag-Facebook-Facebook, gano'n. Unlike before, nung na-invent yung ICT, 'di ba? Lahat ng tao pumupunta sa park, tapos nakikipaghalubilo, nakikipagkilala. Pero ngayon, parang mas gusto na natin sa bahay na lang, no? Kasi nga gano'n, nadi-decrease na yung physical contact natin with other people. Parang mas nai-immerse na tayo sa virtual space than the reality. So the next one is what we call the fake news. So plenty of bad information, including misinformation and disinformation, available on cyberspace. So hindi lahat ng mga information na nakukuha sa internet totoo. Yung iba parang gawa-gawa na lang, yung iba parang nagkamali ng pag-interpret, ganon. So talamak yan sa Facebook, no, yung fake news. Pati sa Google. That's why it is not very advisable for you guys to use to use Wikipedia as a source, no? Bakit? Kasi yung Wikipedia, pwede siyang ma-alter, pwede siyang ma-edit. The last one is technology fever, behavior that grasps gadget users. This is a tendency to keep updating ICT gadgets and being up to date. So kumbaga, because of the integration of ICT, mas naging hangul or addict tayo sa mga technology. Di ba? Halimbawa, ngayon, cellphone mo, iPhone 14. Tapos pag lumabas yung iPhone 15, gusto mo na naman ng iPhone 15 kasi mas maganda yung specs niya compared sa previous phone. Di ba? So ganun na nangyayari sa ICT kasi nga, ang ICT parang it's a haven na to all activities. So andyan yung advertisement, andyan yung socialization, and so forth. So, tendency is talaga kung ano yung trend, susundin mo, 'di ba? So, yun yung mga negative effects na nakikita sa ICT architecture. Okay. So, ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ni misinformation versus disinformation? When we talk about misinformation, these are information na kung saan mistaken lang yung pwedeng pagka-interpret o yung pagkasabi or yung pagkagawa. Yun ang misinformation. Disinformation, on the other hand, is a deliberate um, creating content of spreading malicious information. So kumbaga, sinadya yung pagmamali no ng mga info. Yun ang pinagkaiba. Yung misinformation, pwedeng hindi sadya, pwedeng na-misinterpret. Yung disinformation, talagang sinadya siya na maliin. Si Antin. Okay. Ay, nag-skip ako. Okay na pala. Okay. So, these are the 7 types of mis and disinformation. So, the first one, we have the satire or parody. So, pag sinabi nating satire or parody, there is no intention to cause harm but has potential to fool. So, most of the satire or parody contents no, are made in a video form. So, kumbaga, video siya ganyan. So, halimbawa, a good example of this are the videos uploaded by Director Yap. 'Di ba? Si Direk Yap. So, ano nga ba yung satire? So, kumbaga, yung content niya, joke lang siya. Pero, it has connection in a particular context. So, halimbawa, politika, no? Um, yung dating ginawa na video ni Direk Yap kay Lenny Robredo, yung about sa um, yung mayroon siyang multi-partners, di ba? Although it is not true, pero since it's a video to entertain people, there is a high tendency for people to accept it as a true. Totoo siya. Na parang, ganun pala siya. Pero it is not true. Ano lang siya, ginawa-gawa lang siya for entertainment purposes, pero naging ganun yung implication niya sa mga tao. That is satire or parody. Then we have misleading content, misleading use of information to frame an issue or individual. So when we talk about misleading content naman, this is a content na ginawa no, in order to destroy a reputation of a person. A good example for this one is propaganda. Halimbawa, gumawa tayo ng content na kung saan pinalabas natin na si Bongbong Marcos gumagamit ng bawal na gamot. So, pwedeng hindi siya totoo, pero ginawa lang natin siya para masiraan yung persona ng Pangulo. Ganun ang misleading content. Another example for this one, say for example, the best example actually is yung mga title no sa mga online ano yan? Sa mga articles. Halimbawa, si Janice De Leon, nabuntis nga ba ni Ruru Madrid? So, the content itself, although it's clear, parang it's a question mark, no? Pero most of the readers kasi don't read the entire article. We solely rely doon sa title. So, ang nangyayari, nami-mislead yung tao, ay, nabuntis pala ni Ruru Madrid si Janice de Belen. Ganon ang misleading content. So, kumbaga, even if the intention is not to create a misinterpretation on both parties, pero naging ganon yung kinalabasan. Next is imposter content, when genuine sources are impersonated. So, for example, um, the World Health Organization created a new virus that is um almost the same with the structure of COVID-19. Tapos yung source, Harvard University. So, kahit hindi naman siya totoo, no? So, with that article, na nakalagay ang source is Harvard University, kahit hindi naman talaga Harvard yung nagsabi, no? Papaniwalaan natin yon. Why? Because we view Harvard as a prestigious university. So, therefore, whatever they say, parang tingin natin valid siya. 'Di ba? So, since ginamit nga lang siya in order to spread malice, no, online, papaniwalaan kasi nga yun, may pangalan na inalagaan yung Harvard. The next we have fabricated content. So fabricated content, new content is 100% false, designed to deceive and do harm. So almost the same lang siya with imposter content. Yun nga lang, the imposter content, no, ginamit yung pangalan ng isang prestigious na name. On the other hand, fabricated content, pwede siyang hindi gumamit ng prestigious na name, pero yung main intent niya is magpalaganap, no, ng false information. 100 false information. Ganun ang fabricated content. Next, we have the false connection. When headlines, visual, or captions don't support the content. So, kumbaga, sa false information naman, parang ano siya, how will I say this ba? yung content ng isang ng isang article, hindi siya connected sa kung ano yung headline. Halimbawa, clickbait, 'di ba? So, ang nakalagay doon is say for example, free scholarship for all. Tapos tapos yung sa content niya is wawawin. Ganun ang false connection. So kumbaga yung content, the body of the content and the headline does not have connection. But in order to garner viewers online, ang ginagawa nila, nakiklickbait sila. So the next one, we have the false context. When genuine content is shared with false contextual information. So kumbaga, in this one, nagkaroon na ng alteration, no? Sa information. Say for example, um, ano ba magandang example ko dito? Um, halimbawa, the Philippines, currently the Philippines is um, planning for a charter change. So para saan siya? Para matanggal na ang demokrasya sa Pilipinas. While it is true that the Philippines currently is trying to conduct a charter change, totoo yun siya, pero hindi totoo na para tanggalin yung democracy sa Philippines. Okay? So ganun yung false context. Kumbaga, iniiba yung konteksto ng isang katotohanan. Ganun yung false context. Then last one is manipulated content when genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive. So kumbaga, same naman din siya with fabricated content. The difference is that the fabricated content is 100% false. Yun nga lang, yung manipulated content is totoo siya, pero pinilit siyang baguhin, ibahin. Okay? So parang pampamanipula ba siya? Ganyan. Okay? So these are the complexity of the ICT architecture. So first, we have the hacking viruses. No? So naging complex lang siguro yung ICT architecture. Bakit? Kasi madaming mga activities na pwedeng gawin sa online. Yun nga lang, we are not aware of the consequences. Say for example, we want to download a file. 'Di ba? Without knowing how to scan that particular file, pwede ma-virus yung ating desktop, laptop, or ating cellphone. 'Di ba? Ganun ang hacking viruses. So, a good example of that is the Trojan horses, worms, and ransomwares. Ayan. So that's why no, it is very advisable for everyone to install antivirus softwares, and most of all, to not do not download file or contents no online kapag hindi naman siya sureable sa isang valid source. Next is spam mail. So this usually happens no kapag gumagamit tayo ng mga website tapos kailangan natin i-input or i-log in yung account sa Gmail. So ang nangyayari, send sila sa atin ng email. Actually, I am experiencing this kind of dilemma na rin, no? Bakit? Kasi I am kaya, ganun, kapag nag-search ako ng mga PowerPoint content or PowerPoint templates, I have to log in my Gmail account. So, ang nangyayari, samot-saring email yung nare-receive ko. So, umaabot ng mga 100 a day, ganyan. So, that's why yung my first email ko, tinanggal ko na lang siya kasi hindi ko na alam kung ano yung totoo sa mga pumapasok doon. The next one is phishing, the fraudulent practice of sending emails in order to induce individuals to reveal personal information such as passwords and credit card numbers. So, ito you should be aware of phishing. So, I don't know if you're aware with this, but um, I think talamak ngayon yung magsasend sa'yo ng email link, di ba, na kung saan i-click mo daw kasi andun yung mukha mo. Pero pag click mo, kailangan mong i-log in yung Facebook account mo, right? So pag ginawa mo yun, yung account mo, the username or the email, pati yung password, mag-appear yun doon sa dashboard nila. So ang nangyayari, no, pwede nilang i-access yung account mo. Ang pinaka-worst sa phishing is that, say for example, they were able to acquire your social media account, and then in that social media account, you were able to input your credit card or your debit card kasi they could have an access no doon sa mga cards mo. So, dun nagha-happen yung nawawalan ng pera, yung isang tao sa card niya kasi nga na-phishing na siya. The last one is cyberbullying. This is very famous, no? Kasi alam kong lahat kayo cyberbully. So, I think lahat naman alam ano yung cyberbullying, no? It is a form of harassment online where we bully someone, although Pwede siyang intentionally or pwede siyang unintentionally. Halimbawa, sinabihan mo yung friend mo, hala, ang tawa-tawa mo, mukha kang baboy. Although, alam mong friend mo siya, alam mong hindi siya ma-hurt, pero that is also considered as cyberbullying. Okay? So, yun lang. Kumbaga, yung cyberbullying, mas naging talamak siya kasi all of us spend most of our time online. 'Di ba? Kasi lahat naman tayo talaga, I swear, kahit siguro ngayon, 50% or 80% sa inyo habang naka-Zoom, naka-Facebook, ayan, itatayo ko yung grades ninyo. Si Ronnie, sir, cyberbullying. Ay, si Ronnie, ganyan pala si Ronnie. Cyberbullier. Cyberbullier. si Sup, actually, si Supian may tendency na cyberbully. Oo. Sino pa? Okay. So those are the contents of our lecture for ICT. Now, let's proceed to si Rex. Hi, si Rex. Ganyan ba si Rex? Okay.
No, sir. False. Yan. False.
Oo, mukhang mabait naman si Rex. Parang wala naman siyang ganong habit. Tama ba, Rex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so forum, do you have questions with regards to our lecture bago tayo mag-end? Si Francis, sir. Yes. Raise your hand sa mga gusto mag-question.
Francis daw, sir.
Backstabber. Si Francis Backstabber. Okay. So, personal or Facebook si Sir. Actually, si Sophia, narinig ko na siya mang bully. Isumbong ka sa principal.
Sir, bangay Sufyan, always yan magpang-bully.
Okay. So baka tayo mo cyberbully ni Sophia dito. Okay guys, so wala ba kayong question? Naintindihan niyo ba yung lecture? Ano po ang
Yeah po.
gagawin?
Yes, sir.
Sir, maapo wala.
Hoy! Huy! Huy! Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. So if wala na kayong question, so if we
Sir, may
ano? Yes, Jason.
Sir, cyberbully.
Sir, may question po ako regarding sa research, sir,
Okay.
about sa pag-validate ng questionnaire, sir.
Okay.
Since hindi po makapunta Monday and Tuesday kasi walang klase. Pwede po, sir, ipa-check sa'yo, sir, ngayon or bukas, sir.
Ang sarap pakinggan ng boses mo, Jason. Pero andun ako sa school bukas from 7 o'clock to 10. So, pwede, if maabutan mo ako, ibigay nyo na lang sa akin, ha? Pero, most probably, kailan nyo ba kailangan i-submit?
Yung final defense kasi, sir, May 7. So, baka, or
There's,
i-Google form na lang namin, sir, yung
okay. If
yung
possible,
questionnaire.
siguro mas maganda if face-to-face siya. So, mga by,
Yes, sir.
May 2. Sa school mo yan ako, Thursday, Friday. Ah,
Yes. Opo, sir.
sige. So, other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. If wala na kayong question, guys, so may quiz tayo, ha? So, if may announcement na with regards kung kailan kayo papasok, so halimbawa, if this week siya,
Kaya rin yung quiz, sir.
yeah, ito na. Teka lang. So, halimbawa, if sabihin nila na papasok kayo by Thursday or Friday, then we will have your quiz this Thursday or Friday. Pero, pag dineclare na naman ni Mayor na wala tayong klase or grade 11 lang ipapasok, then I might just create na lang o Google form tapos doon na lang kayo
Answer, sir.
mag-answer. Or, if possible, baka sa lang, sa quizzes. So, mag-i-schedule na lang ako kailan yung schedule ng Farimon, ng Spencer, ng Hoxton, and
Okay, sir.
Wookie. Other questions?
Sir, wala kaming PT, sir, sa sir, sa trends.
Meron kayong PD sa trends. I will be sending it to you online. Aside from that,
Ayun na ba,
mayroon
sir?
kayong receipts. Ah,
Ayun na ba, sir?
hindi pwede. Wala kayong grade. Wala na
Ayos
kayong
ka, sir.
question?
Sir, si Francis, sir, sir, may binubulyan sa Hoxton. Promise.
Sige lang. Mag-report lang, 'di ba? Kasama yun sa rule natin, minus to denar ang na-prove na bully. So as long as
Sir,
meron kayong
sir.
proof,
Safe, sir. Pati si
Safe.
Sufyan, sir. Binubulin yung taga Hoxton, sir.
tapos yung nagsumbong, pwede niyang kunin yung nabully, pwede niyang kunin yung 2 denars ng bully.
Ay, sir.
Na, sir, nag-start na, sir, yung binubully ni
Nice ka,
Francis.
sir.
Nag-start na yung binubully ni Francis.
Ay, guys, focus kayo sa lecture. Naintindihan ba?
Si Angelo Sabete,
Monyo
sir.
Buzo.
Okay, mag-screenshot na tayo para sa ating documentation. Open your camera, guys, if possible. Pwede ba? Okay,
Sir, wala
kasi...
ko nakahalo, sir.
Okay, ready? Open na your camera, guys. One. Okay, go. Hoy, Kani, umuwi ka na. Hawag ka na maano. Okay, page 1 muna tayo. Page 1. Smile, guys. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay. Page 2.
Bye-bye, sir. Love you.
Wala, wag muna. May page 2 pa. At libido.
Sir,
Okay,
tata ka,
page
sir.
2. Open your camera. 1. Okay, page 2. 1, 2, 3.
dun mata.
Smile. Okay. Last one, page 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay.
Sir, yan ang gwapo, sir.
Walang ganon. Walang gwapo sa inyo.
May matanda dito,
Okay,
sir. Ang estudyante na,
Bye,
sir.
guys. See you next
Bye, sir. Love
meeting.
you.
Sabi mo. Sino ka
Bye,
dyan?
sir. Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Tima, papilang.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.
Sir.
Ay!
Bye.
Bye.
Sige, salamat. Ano ka, Mat? Sino ba yan?
I-upload din, sir.
Yes,
Sa YouTube,
i-upload
sir.
ko to siya. Oo. After kong ma-see.
Sir.
Ha?
Bakit?
Sir, anong
Sorry lang. Si Gonzang ba to? Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Sir, bahala ka, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Break kita, sir.
Sige
Break
na,
kita,
alis na
break kita.
kayo.